Cryptozoology gave us giant sea monsters, hidden dinosaurs, mysterious apes in the mountains, and creatures that many people swear they've seen, but science still can't fully explain. For centuries, sailors, explorers, and villagers have reported animals that don't appear in any biology textbook. Some stories come from ancient legends, some come from eyewitness accounts only a few decades old, and a few are so strange that they make people stop and ask, wait, what exactly did they see? So today, we're diving into the cryptozoology iceberg. We'll start with the oldest legends sailors feared in the deep ocean, then move through creatures hiding in jungles and mountains, and end with some of the strangest modern sightings ever caught on camera. Number 1. The Kraken. Long before modern sea monsters filled movies and video games, sailors in the North Atlantic told stories about a creature so large it could drag entire ships beneath the water. They called it the Kraken. The earliest written accounts come from Scandinavian texts from around the 13th century, though fishermen in Norway and Greenland were likely talking about it even earlier. According to these reports, the Kraken lived in the deep waters between Norway, Iceland, and Greenland. Sailors described it as a massive creature with long arms that could wrap around ships. Some stories claimed its body was over a kilometer wide, though those numbers were clearly exaggerated by frightened sailors who were watching something enormous move beneath the waves. The creature was said to rise slowly from the water, creating whirlpools that could pull vessels under. Some accounts claimed that when the Kraken surfaced, fish would gather around it in huge numbers, which actually attracted fishermen who believed they had found a good fishing spot. But if the monster moved, the entire area would become violent and dangerous. Modern scientists believe many Kraken sightings were actually giant squids. The giant squid can reach lengths of around 13 meters, and the colossal squid may grow even larger. For centuries, people doubted these animals even existed because no one had seen one alive until 2004, when researchers in Japan finally captured footage in the deep ocean. Still, some cryptozoology fans believe the old Kraken stories described something even larger than the squids we know today. Number 2. The Mokele Mbembe. Deep inside the Congo Basin in Central Africa, stories persist about a massive animal living in remote rivers and swamps. Locals call it Mokele Mbembe, which roughly translates to one who stops the flow of rivers. Reports describe a creature that looks strangely similar to a long-necked dinosaur. Witnesses often say it has a large body, a long tail, and a neck that can reach several meters in length. Many accounts estimate the animal's size at around 5 to 10 meters long. The stories come from dense rainforest regions of the Republic of Congo, especially around the Likuwala swamp. This area covers tens of thousands of square kilometers and remains one of the least explored regions of Africa. Local communities have passed down stories about the creature for generations. Some accounts claim the animal is aggressive toward boats and will attack if approached. Hunters in the region sometimes refuse to travel certain waterways because they believe the animal defends its territory. Western explorers began investigating the legend in the early 1900s. German captain Ludwig Freiherr von Stein zu Lausnitz recorded reports from local people in 1913 describing an animal that resembled a sauropod dinosaur. Despite multiple expeditions over the past century, no clear photographic proof has ever been found. Scientists usually suggest the sightings are misidentified animals, such as large monitor lizards, elephants crossing rivers, or even floating tree trunks. Still, the Congo Basin is so vast and difficult to study that some cryptozoology researchers believe a large, unknown animal could still be hiding there. Number 3. The Yeti. High in the Himalayas, climbers and villagers have long reported a large, hairy creature walking through the snow. The name most people know today is the Yeti, often called the Abominable Snowman. Stories about the creature go back centuries among Sherpa communities in Nepal and Tibet. In their traditions, the animal was not always viewed as a monster. Some stories describe it more like a wild mountain animal that avoids people. Descriptions vary, but most reports say the Yeti stands between 2 and 3 meters tall and is covered in thick white or brown fur. Witnesses claim it walks upright like a human and leaves massive footprints in the snow, sometimes measuring more than 30 centimeters long. Interest from the outside world grew in 1951 when British mountaineer Eric Shipton photographed large footprints on the Menlung Glacier near Mount Everest. The photos spread quickly around the world and sparked huge curiosity. Since then, many climbers and expeditions have claimed to find footprints, hair samples, or strange tracks. However, DNA tests on several supposed Yeti hair samples in recent years showed they actually came from known animals, especially Himalayan bears. Scientists think most sightings can be explained by bears standing upright, which they sometimes do when investigating smells or threats. Even so, the remote mountains of the Himalayas stretch for thousands of kilometers. With many valleys rarely visited by humans, the legend of the Yeti still survives. Number 4. The Loch Ness Monster. Few cryptids are as famous as the creature said to live in a long, deep lake in Scotland called Loch Ness. The creature is commonly known as Nessie. The first written account goes all the way back to the year 565 AD. An Irish monk named Saint Columba reportedly saved a man from a water beast in the River Ness. But the modern legend exploded in 1933 after a road was built along the shoreline of the lake. Suddenly, thousands of drivers and visitors were looking out across the water every day. Soon, people started reporting strange shapes moving across the surface. Witnesses often describe a long neck rising from the water, attached to a large body with humps visible behind it. Some estimates claim the animal could be 10 meters long or more. In 1934, a photograph known as the surgeon's photo appeared to show a long neck sticking out of the lake. For decades, many people believed it was real. In the 1990s, it was revealed to be a hoax made using a toy submarine. Scientists have studied Loch Ness many times using sonar scans and underwater cameras. The lake is about 230 meters deep and holds more water than all lakes in England and Wales combined. Despite decades of research, no confirmed animal matching Nessie has ever been found. Number 5. The Chupacabra. In the mid-1990s, a new creature suddenly entered the world of cryptozoology. Reports began spreading across Puerto Rico about a strange animal attacking livestock and draining their blood. Farmers discovered goats, chickens, and sheep dead with puncture wounds on their bodies. Because of these attacks, the creature was given the name Chupacabra, which means goat sucker in Spanish. Early eyewitness descriptions were extremely strange. People said the creature stood about 1 to 1.5 meters tall, had spikes running down its back, glowing red eyes, and a reptile-like face. The panic spread quickly across Puerto Rico and then across Latin America. Within a few years, reports were coming from Mexico, Chile, and parts of the United States. However, many of the creatures later captured or photographed turned out to be animals suffering from severe mange. Coyotes, dogs, and raccoons with this skin disease lose their fur and develop thick, wrinkled skin, giving them a very unusual appearance. Wildlife experts believe most modern chupacabra sightings are misidentified coyotes with mange. But the early Puerto Rico reports remain difficult to explain because witnesses described a creature very different from any known animal. Even today, people in rural areas still report livestock deaths they believe were caused by the mysterious predator. Before we get to the last 3 spots on our list, don't forget to subscribe. It really helps the channel more than you know. Number 6. The Mongolian death worm. In the deserts of Mongolia, locals tell stories about a terrifying creature hiding beneath the sand They call it the Mongolian death worm. Descriptions say the worm is about 1 to 1.5 meters long, thick like a human arm, and bright red in color. Witnesses claim it can kill from a distance by spitting venom or releasing an electric shock. The creature is said to live in the Gobi Desert, one of the largest deserts in Asia. This region stretches across northern China and southern Mongolia and covers more than 1.3 million square kilometers. Stories about the worm were recorded by Western explorers in the 1920s. One of the first people to report the legend was American explorer Roy Chapman Andrews, who later inspired the Indiana Jones character. Local people insisted the creature was real and warned travelers to avoid certain areas of sand dunes where it supposedly lived. Multiple expeditions have searched for the animal over the past century, including several modern scientific trips using drones and ground sensors. No physical specimen has ever been found. Some scientists think the legend may come from sightings of large sand-colored snakes, such as the Tartar sand boa. But that snake is far smaller and lacks the deadly abilities described in the stories. Despite the lack of proof, the Mongolian death worm remains one of the most famous cryptids in Asia. Number 7. The Dover Demon. In April 1977, a very strange creature was reported in the small town of Dover, Massachusetts. Over the course of 2 nights, 3 teenagers claimed they saw the same bizarre animal. The first witness was 17-year-old Bill Bartlett. While driving at night, he saw a small figure climbing over a stone wall. He described it as having a large watermelon-shaped head, glowing orange eyes, and a thin body with long fingers. The creature was only about 1 meter tall. Its skin appeared hairless and pale, almost like wet sandpaper. The next night, another teenager named Abby Brabham reported seeing a similar creature standing in the road. She described the same large head and glowing eyes. Later that night, a third witness also reported seeing something unusual nearby. The sightings happened within a very small area over about 36 hours. After that, the creature was never seen again. Because of its location, the animal became known as the Dover Demon. Investigators looked into the reports and confirmed the witnesses stuck to their stories for years. None of them admitted to making it up. Some people think it may have been a young moose or deer seen in poor lighting. Others think the witnesses simply misinterpreted shadows and shapes in the dark. But the strange consistency in the descriptions keeps the mystery alive. Number 8. The Fresno Nightcrawler. One of the strangest modern cryptids appeared not through stories, but through security camera footage. In 2007, a resident in Fresno, California, reviewed footage from a motion-activated camera outside his house. The video showed something extremely unusual walking across the yard. The creature looked like a pair of white legs walking by themselves. It had no visible arms, head, or torso. It simply moved across the ground in a slow walking motion. The figure appeared to be about 1 meter tall. The footage spread quickly online, and people started calling the creature the Fresno Nightcrawler. A second video surfaced later from Yosemite National Park, showing 2 similar figures walking through a field. The bizarre shape made many people believe the footage showed a puppet or someone wearing a costume. But investigators who studied the original recording said they could not find clear signs of editing. Native American stories from parts of California also describe spirit-like beings with similar shapes, which added another layer of mystery. No one has ever captured or clearly photographed the creature outside those videos. Whether it was a hoax, a strange animal, or something else entirely, the Fresno Nightcrawler quickly became one of the most unusual cryptids discussed on the internet. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. And tell me in the comments, which cryptid do you think could actually exist?